the next type of addressing, which is called as classless addressing, became more popular in the internet world. So as and when the internet users became more and more added number of users, it's crossed billions and billions of users using the internet facility, then 32 bits was not sufficient. That means 4 billion, 4 plus billion type of addresses in the address space was not sufficient. And if you use fixed block of addresses, it was creating lot of problem. So the solution for this type of problem is what is called as classless addressing. So what do you mean by classless addressing? In classful addressing, you are having fixed block size. If you see this diagram, you can see that block 1 can be in different size, block 2 can be different size, block M can be different size. That means the address space consists of block of addresses which are not fixed. They can be of variable size. So depending upon the user requirement, if a user wants 256 address, that block can be given. If the user wants 512 addresses, another block can be given. So that means the blocks are not fixed size. This is what is called as classless addressing. And there is no nomenclature of dividing the address space into class A, B, C, D, E. But all of them are called as classless addressing, wherein there is no nomenclature as the division of class into A, B, C, D, E, but the address space is divided into variable size block. This is the advantage of going for classless addressing, wherein depending on the requirement of the user, either a small block can be given, or a medium size block can be given, or a larger block can be given depending on the requirement. The advantage of going for classless addressing is that there is no wastage of addresses. There is no address depletion problem which can be overcome by replacing classful address by classless addressing. So, but you use here prefix length, how do you actually represent that? So the prefix length can range from 0 to 32, and it is usually represented in the form of x dot, y dot, z dot, t slash n. This is the type of notation which is used, which is called as classless interdomain routing, which is also known as CIDR. CIDR stands for classless interdomain routing. So the notation used is x dot, y dot, z dot, t slash n. N represents the mask value which is used for identifying the prefix value. See, this is the notation which is used. So each one, as you know, 4 bytes are there, slash n. So that is your CIDR notation. Examples are given here. So example says this is how you can represent any IP address using classless addressing. X dot, y dot, z dot, t slash n. That is prefix length, which is variable, which is not fixed, as in the case of classful addressing. So this just tells you the indication of this, how, So then, given a block of address, our question is to find out how do you identify first address and last address of the block. So to do that, before that, there are certain requirements to be met by classless addressing. What do you mean by requirement is that in classless addressing, any small or large organization, whatever they require, whether a small range of addresses or large range of addresses, can be provided by classless addressing, which was not possible in classful addressing because it was fixed. Here the size of the block varies, but there are certain requirements or conditions to satisfy the classless addressing. What do you mean by that? An internet service provider may be given thousands or hundreds of thousands based on the number of customers which the ISP is serving. So in that case, the conditions to be met under classless addressing is that addresses in a block must be contiguous. That means one after the other. It should not be something where if it is a first address is .31, the next one should be 32, next one should be 33, like that. It should be one after the other. The addresses in a block must not be random. It should be one after the other. That is the first condition of the classless addressing. The second condition is that the number of addresses in a block must be a power of 2. That means if you say 32 address, it is 2 to the power of 5. If you allot 16 address, it is 2 to the power of 4. If you allot 60 address, you cannot allot it. Reason is it is not power of 2. The first condition is address in a block should be one after the another. Second condition is it should be a power of 2 always. If you have, say for example, 60 address, it is not a power of 2. Whereas, so how you solve this problem? Instead of allotting 60, you allot 64 because it is power of 2. Always the number of addresses in a block must be a power of 2. The third condition is the first address in any block of allotted address must be divisible by the number of addresses. The first address must be divisible by the number of address. There should not be any fraction value. It should be totally divisible by the number of addresses. These are the three conditions to be met for using classless addressing. Advantage of classless addressing is that it is not the blocks are not of the same size, fixed size. It can be of variable size. That is one advantage, wherein wastage of addresses is avoided. Address depletion problem is avoided. And there is no classification of addresses as class A, B, C, D, E, etc. Depending on the requirement, the address blocks can be provided. If you are granting any block of addresses for the users or the organization, if at all they have to use classless addressing, three conditions have to be met. First one is the block, in the block, the addresses should be represented one after the another. Second one is number of addresses in a block must be power of 2. Third condition is first address must be easily divisible by the number of addresses. These are the three conditions to be met in classless addressing. I have just shown an example of this. Let's see this. This is the block of addresses, let us say, granted to a small organization by an ISP. So you can see that first address is 205.16.37.32. Both the notations are represented here. And the last address is 47. So that means how many addresses are allotted? 16 addresses are allotted to an organization. So the first condition says that in a block of addresses, all the addresses should be listed in one after the other. So after 32, it is 33, 34, 35, etc. up to 47. The first condition is met. So in any block of addresses, the addresses should be one after the other. That's condition. First condition is satisfied. Second condition is what? The number of addresses should be power of 2. Is 16 power of 2? Yes. 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 60. Hence, the second condition is also met. What is the third condition? Third condition says the first address should be divisible by 16. So how do you know it is divisible by 16? You should do some calculation here. I already told you IP addresses are always represented in the base of 256. So how do you convert? First, you take the first address. You should convert it into decimal and then divide by 16 to understand whether it is divisible by 16 or not. Do that. If you take 205.16.37.32 as the first address, how do you convert it into decimal? Say 32 into 2 to the power 256 to the power of 0, 30 plus 37 into 256 to the power of 1 plus 16 into 256 to the power of 2, 205 into 256 to the power of 3. So if you convert that and add that, you get some number. That number, if it is divisible by 16, you are satisfying the third condition. So let's see. So we can say that these restrictions apply to this block are satisfied because, as I already shown in the diagram, addresses are one after the other, contiguous. The number of addresses is a power of 2 because the number of addresses allotted is 16. It is equal to 2 to the power of 4. The second condition is met. Third condition is first address is divisible by 16. So for that, you take the first address, just now I told 205.16.37.32. First, you should convert it into decimal. How do I convert? You multiply by the base of 256. 32 into come from the right hand side. 32 into 256 to the power of 0 plus 37 into 256 to the power of 1 plus 16 into 2 to the power of 256 to the power of 2 plus 205 into 256 to the power of 3. If you do that, you will get a value like this: 3440387360. You can verify this. If you divide by 16, That means you get some answer. Our question is whether the first address is divisible by 16 or not. Yes, it is divisible by 16. So this block of address, which we have taken as an example, is exactly divisible by 16 and it meets all the three conditions. So that's how we can say classless addresses have to meet all the conditions. Okay, this is just given as an example. So I already told you IPv4 addressing. The block of addressing classless is always represented as x dot, y dot, z dot, t slash n and defines the mask or the prefix length. So now how do I calculate the first address in the block? First address in the block can be found by setting the rightmost 32 minus bit to 0. This is very important. You should remember. There are two methods of calculating the first address and the last address and the number of address. The first method, this slide tells you the first method. In the first method, you take the address in the block, first address in the block can be found by setting the rightmost 32 minus n bits to 0. The last address in the block can be found by setting the rightmost 32 minus n bit to once. If you set the 32 minus n bit to 0, it becomes the first address. If you set 32 minus n bit to once, it becomes the last address. If you use this formula 2 to the power of 32 minus n, that gives you the number of addresses in the block. As an example, that's why I told you can have a sheet of paper. So a block of addresses is granted to a small organization. Let us say that we know one of the address has 205.16.37.39/28. /28 is very, very important. N is equal to 28 here. That is your mask value of the prefix length. So this is the address. You know one of the address of the block, but you do not know the number of addresses given to the organization, nor you know the first address and the last address. If I know the first address and the number of address, I can understand the complete addresses in that block which is granted to this organization. So what is the condition? What is the type? First type we said, you take the address. One of the address is 205.16.37.39. You convert it into binary. What is the first method? You make 32 minus rightmost bit to 0. Okay, you can see that n is equal to 28 here. So that is very important. Take this address and 32 minus 28 is how much? It is 4. So last 4 bits you make it as 0. N is equal to 28 here, /n. N is equal to 28. Take this binary, take this address, convert it into binary. Binary is very important. Convert 205.16.37.39 into binary. Take the address, because you don't have in this example any other information except that they have told one of the addresses in the block is this much. Now find the first address, last address and the number of address. So first address can be found. If you know any address, you can find the first address and the last address. So convert this decimal into binary, and the condition is from the rightmost, that is 32 minus n, rightmost bit. If it is set to 0, that gives you the first address. So when you make this 32 minus 28, it is 4 bits. So all these 4 bits are set to 0. So what is the value you get? 205.16.37.32. This is the first address. So let us refer back. Actually, this example is nothing but the previous example what you have seen. See, first address is 205.16.37.32. The last address should get 47. How do you get this? So now take the same procedure you follow. I think first address, it is clear for everybody. How do you calculate the first address? You take the address and then convert it into binary, and n is very important here. In this case, n is equal to 28. So the rightmost 32 minus 28 should be made as 0. That means 32 minus 28 is how much? 4 bits. The last 4 bits, if you make as 0, convert back to decimal, you get the first address. What is the last address? How do you calculate the last address? The 32 minus n, rightmost bit should be set to 1. If you get this, if you do this, you get the last address. So if you convert back to decimal, you see that it is 205.16.37.47, which is nothing but your last address of the previous example, whatever we have seen. First address you got, by making 32 minus n rightmost bit as 0. The last address you can get by making 32 minus n bit as ones. How do you calculate the number of address? The number of address is calculated by the formula 2 to the power of 32 minus n. So 32 minus 28 is 4. 2 to the power of 4 is 16. So this organization has been granted 16 addresses whose first address is 32, 205.16.37.32 and last address is 205.16.37.47. So that's the range of address. In between you can fill up the remaining one to see the what are the addresses allotted for this organization. This is how you can calculate the first address and the last address and the number of addresses of a block of addresses granted to the organization. Let's go to the second method. The second method is mask value is very, very important. How do you represent 28? Is nothing but slash 28 is the mask value. Slash 28 is the mask value. N is equal to 28 means 28 ones followed by the remaining zeros. This is your mask representation. So second method we are talking how to calculate the first address, last address, number of address. What we discussed previously is the first type. Next one is using mask. How do you calculate the first address, last address and the number of address? So let's take the example, same example, whatever you did the previous one. You have the binary value. Take the mask value. Mask value is 28. That is represented as 28 ones followed by the remaining zeros. Now you do the AND operation. How do you do the AND operation? 1 and 1 is 0. 1 and 0 is 0. Like that. And 0 and 0 is also 0. When you do, take the address, convert it into binary and apply the mask. Apply the mask means to last slash 28 in this case, which is represented as 28 ones followed by the remaining zeros. When you do the AND operation, you get this value, which is nothing but your first address. If you convert back to decimal, you know that this is the first address. Okay. Second method, what it does? Using mask. Second method is, first method is you take the address whichever is given in the as an example, take the address, convert it into binary and then make that 32 minus n, that is n value depending on the mask value. 32 minus n rightmost bit as 0 gives you first address. 32 minus n rightmost bit as ones gives you last address. 2 to the power of 32 minus n gives you number of address. That is one method. Second method is take the mask, represent that in binary. Slash 28 means it is 28 ones followed by 0. Take the address, convert it into binary and do the AND operation of the address and the mask, which gives you the first address. How to calculate the last address? Last address can be calculated by taking the address, converting it into binary. That first step is same. Now, instead of taking the mask, you have to take the complement of mask. What is complement of mask? Mask is nothing but 28 ones followed by 4 zeros. Take the complement of mask. Complement of mask becomes 28 zeros followed by 4 ones. Now do the OR operation. So what is the second method of last address finding out? Take the address, convert it into binary, take the mask, complement the mask and then do the OR operation. So OR operation is 1 or 0 is 1, 0 or 0 is 0, 1 or 1 is also 1. So otherwise 0 0 is 0, 1 0 is 1, 1 0 is 1, 0 1 is 1, 1 1 is also 1 and 0 0 is 0. This is the ORing operation. When you do this, you get this value. If you convert back to decimal, you can verify that you have got back the last address. Both the answers will be the same and should be the same. Both methods, any one method can be used. Either the first method or the second method to find the first address and last address, knowing any of the addresses. Now, how do you find the number of addresses in this method, second method? You take the complement of mask. You have already done the complement of mask. So 28 zeros followed by 4 ones. That is the complement of slash 28. So that, what do? You convert this mask value into decimal. If you convert this, you get 15 as the value. So add 1 to the decimal point, decimal conversion. 15 plus 1, that's equal to 16. What is the second type of calculating the number of addresses? You take the mask, complement the mask, convert it into decimal, add 1 to it. That is a procedure for calculating the number of addresses. These are the two methods using which, given a block of address, you can find the first address, last address, number of addresses, and this has to satisfy the three conditions of classless addressing. So this is how you can continue for doing all these things. So quickly, I think can take this example, classless address as 167.199.170.82/27. Now, can you find the first address and the last address? Take 167.199.170.82/27 and find out first address, last address, number of address. So what is the procedure? First type, anybody can say? First method, convert it into binary and then take the first method. Last 32 minus 27 is how much? It is 5. So it last 5 bits should be 32 minus n. Last rightmost 5 bits should be made as zeros. That gives you first address. If you 32 minus 27, which is equal to 5, last 5 bits, rightmost 5 bits, it is made as 1. It becomes the last address. 2 to the power of 32 minus n. That is 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 5. So which is equal to 32. This block contains 32 addresses. So this is first method. Second method is you have to do the AND operation. What you do, take the mask, AND it with the address given 167.199.170.82/27 means 27 months followed by 5 zeros. That is the representation of mask. Do the AND operation, you get the first address. For the same address, take the mask but complement the mask and do the OR operation with the address, you get the last address. To get the number of address, what you have to do, take the mask, that is 27 ones followed by 5 zeros, complement the mask, so that becomes 27 zeros followed by 5 ones, and then convert it into decimal, add 1 to it, that gives you the number of addresses. So two methods can be used for this particular example. Write down this value so that you can do this later. 167.199.170.82/27. Find using both the methods, first address, last address, and the number of addresses. Here I've shown first step-by-step procedure so that there should not be any problem for you. Anyway, I'm sharing this PPT. This PPT itself can be used as notes. Just calculated the same thing. This example, I will, this has steps which I have not written here. I will share the steps and then you will know the answer for this. Because this example says address cannot define the block per se. If you have an address, you cannot define the block of addresses. For example, if you just know 230.8.24.56 without knowing any value of prefix length or the mask value, it is very difficult to find the blocks of addresses. So you have to assume these are the prefix length and calculate the range of addresses, which I will share later. So this is again a repetition of how do you use a forwarding table in classless addressing. How do you do the forwarding of packet when it arrives at a router, for which the forwarding table is very important. So you have the network address represented, and when a packet arrives, it has to find the network address, and for using the destination address, it finds it using the forwarding table. It also finds out the interface through which it has to be forwarded, and that is how a packet is forwarded, which is already discussed. Let's take this example, which is an interesting example. An ISP has requested a block of 1000 addresses. So what is the condition of a classless addressing? Whenever you have a block of addresses, the first thing is it should be a power of 2. So 1000, is it power of 2? So 2 to the power of something does not give you 1000. That means 1000 is the number of addresses allotted. So the number of addresses allotted in a classless addressing, it should satisfy the condition as it should be a power of 2. Since 1000 is not a power of 2, the ISP instead of granting 1000 has to grant 1024, which is the next immediate value, which is a power of 2. So 1024 can be represented as a power of 2. So now, how you calculate the prefix length? Prefix length is calculated using the formula small n is equal to 32 minus log 1024 to the base 2. So you have to check the answer. It is equal to 22. So in that case, you know that if one of the address, an available block 18.14.12.0/22 is now granted to the ISP. So we have to check and find out whether this satisfies the classless addressing or not. So first condition, number of addresses is 1000. So you cannot use this 1000 address, cannot be granted by ISP. So the first condition is not satisfied. And coming to the actually last condition, 1000 addresses is the number of addresses which is not satisfied. Hence, the first thing what the ISP has to do is instead of allotting 1000, he has to allot 1024. Reason is 1000 is not a power of 2. Whereas the next immediate number is 1024, which is a power of 2. So instead of granting 1000, the ISP can grant 1024 because only when it is power of 2, it is satisfying the classless addressing requirement. Then how do you calculate the n value, small n value? If you know the number of addresses, you can calculate the prefix length. N is equal to 32 minus log big N to the base 2. Big N is nothing but the number of addresses. Capital N is the number of addresses. So 32 minus log 1024 to the base 2 will give you the prefix length. So you can start that if you know one of the address as 18.14.12.0, you can start that and find out the first address. But in this example, they have given the first address as 18.14.12.0/22 because it is n is equal to 22. Up to 32 address, you can do one after the other and say that these are the block of addresses given to them. Next condition which has to be satisfied is the first address in the decimal should be, the first address should be divisible by 16. I already told you how do you say which is divisible by 16. For that you take this first address 18.14.12.0 and then convert it into decimal, and the decimal value, if you divide by 16, if it is divisible by 16, that means what is the block of addresses given is satisfying the classless address requirement. This example tells you whether the block of addresses granted to an organization is satisfying the requirement of classless addressing or not. How do you satisfy? First condition, the number of the addresses should be in a continuous way, should be listed in the block, and number of addresses should be always power of 2, and the first address should be divisible by 16. If these three conditions are met, then the ISP who has granted a block of address, it is meeting the requirement of classless addressing. Next example, which is an interesting example. An organization is granted a block of addresses with the beginning address as they have already given the beginning addresses. So the beginning address is 14.24.74.0/24. They have given in the mask value or the prefix length value also in this. So the organization needs to have 3 sub-block of addresses to use it into 3 subnets. So an organization has taken one block of address, and in that they want to divide that large block into 3 sub blocks and or use it as 3 subnets. And they have also given the number of addresses for each of the sub block. One sub block should contain 10 address, another sub block should have 60 address, and another sub block should have 120 address. This is the condition. So now what is your requirement? You have to design the sub blocks knowing the beginning address of the organization granted address 14.24.74.0/24. Now you have to divide this into 3 subnets, 3 subblocks, and whose number of addresses 10, 60, and 120. Whenever you design the subblock, the condition you should keep in mind is that you should always start from the largest value. So the largest value out of these 3 addresses is 120. First, you should design the subblock with 120 address. Next, you go for designing the subblock with 60 address. And then third one is you design the subblock with 10 address. So let's see how we can proceed with this. So now you know that mask value is 24. So how do you calculate the number of address? You can say number of address is equal to 2 to the power of 32 minus small n. So 2 to the power of 32 minus 24 is how much? It is 2 to the power of 8. 2 to the power of 8 is equal to 256 addresses are there in this block. So by knowing this mask value, you can calculate the number of addresses granted to the organization. What is the formula used for calculating the number of address? N, capital N is equal to 2 to the power of 32 minus small n. So n, small n is nothing but your mask value, which is 24. So 2 to the power of 32 minus 24 gives you 2 to the power of 8, which is equal to 256 addresses. So ISP has granted 256 addresses in the for the organization, and they want to subnet this 256 into 3 subnets. With subnet 1 as 120, I said you should always start with the highest address. Subnet 1 as 120, subnet 2 as 60, and subnet 3 as 10 addresses. Okay. Now let's see whether all these things are satisfying or not. So let's take the case 1. So the number of address in the largest subblock should be how much? 120 address. So let's check whether 120 is a power of 2. 2 to the power of something does not give you 120. So in that case, you cannot use 120 because the classless addressing says the number of address should be a power of 2. 256 a power of 2, you got that. But in the subnet 1, the organization wants to use a 3 subnets. Subnet 1 should be high. You should always start with the largest address. The largest subnet, if you want to design, they say use 120 addresses, but 120 is not a power of 2. So how do you solve this problem? Instead of 120, which is the next value which is satisfying 2 to the power of the address which is a power of 2, instead of 120, if you take 128 address, it is 2 to the power of 7. So that means you can instead of allocating 120 address, you should allocate 128 address, because always the number of address should be a power of 2. 120 is not a power of 2. So what is the solution? Instead of 120, if you take 128, it satisfies the condition of being power of 2. Hence, instead of 120 for the subnet 1, you should have 128 address. So how do you calculate the subnet of this subnet mask of this subnet 1? To calculate the subnet 1 mask, you know that the number of address allocators is 128. So the formula used is small n1 is equal to 32 minus log 128 to the base 2. This is the formula used. N1 is equal to 32 minus log capital N to the base 2. Capital N is 128 address. So N1 refers to the mask of the subnet 1 whose addresses is 128. N1 is equal to 32 minus log 128 to the base 2. What is the value you get? It is 32 minus 5, which is equal to, this is wrong, right?
32 minus 7, ma'am.
7, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
2 to the power of 7, sorry. 2 to the power of 7. So it is 32 minus 7, you get 25. So the mask value for this subnet is now 25, right? So what is the first address in this block? They have told that you have the addresses has to start from 14.24.74.0, and for the main network, this is the given 14.24.74.0/24 is the main network address. So you, for the subnet 1, you can have the first address as 14.24.74.0/25. How many addresses are there in this? You have 128 address for this subnet. So it should end from, if the first address is 14.24.74.0/25/25. Why? Because it is the mask of the subnet. And the last address is 14.24.74.127, because your address should be from 0 to 127/25. This is how you can design the subnet address of that block, the subnet 1. So next, what is the subnet 2? The number of addresses in the second subblock should be 60. 60 is power of 2. 2 to the power of something is not 60. So what is the solution? Instead of 60, if I allot 64, it is power of 2. So now I should take, instead of 60 addresses, I should take 64 addresses. First case, 120 instead of 120, you should take 128. So 60 is not a power of 2. So the next immediate address, which is a power of 2, is 64 address. So instead of 60, the number of addresses for the second block becomes 64. How do I calculate the subnet mask for this? Subnet mask is calculated using N2 is equal to 32 minus log 64 to the base 2. So to log 64 to the base 2, if you minus that, 32 minus how much?
6.
So 8. So 32 minus log 64 to the
6.
base 2 is 2 to the power of 6, right? So that means 32 minus 6 is 26. So the first address in this block should be, see the first in the sub block 1, it has ended at 127. So in the next block, it should start from 128. So 14.24.74.128 becomes the first address of the second block. /26 is the mask of the second sub block. That's just now we have calculated. What is the last address? How many addresses it should have? It should have 64. So 128 plus 64, it becomes 191, because both the sides it is inclusive. 14.24.74.128/26 is the first address of this block. Our last address is 14.24.74.191. How did you get this? Why you have to have 64 addresses. 128 plus 64, both the sides inclusive. So it is ending at 191. So this is how you can design the second subblock. So what is the third subblock? So the number of address in the last subblock is 10 address. 10 is it power of 2? 10 is not a power of 2. So I have to take at least minimum 16 addresses. So 2 to the power of 4 is, if I take 2 to the power of 3, it is less than that. So the next solution is to have 2 to the power of 4. If I take 2 to the power of 4, instead of 10 addresses, I have to allocate 16 address. So now how do I find the subnet mask for this subnet? I can calculate that using, this is actually N3. You have to change that as N3. N3 is equal to 32 minus log 16 to the base 2, which gives you 28 as the value, right? So the first address in this block is, where did you end in the previous case? Previous case, you ended in 191. So the next block should start from 192 plus 16. So the first address of the block is 14.24.74.192. Address mask is /28. Last address is, you add 16. The number of addresses in this block is 16. 192 plus 16. Both the sides inclusive. So it becomes 14.24.74.207/28. So the first block you calculated. For 120, you allocated 128, and then you got the mask value and defined the first value as 0 to 127, because it has 128 address, and the mask value is 25. Second block, 60 address you are supposed to allocate. 60 is not a power of 2. You allocated 64 address. Using that, you calculated the mask value. Once you know the mask, you can start that first address, which is the next address of the first block. You have ended the first block at 127. You start at 128, add 64 to that, both the sides inclusive. The last address is 191/26. Now the third block is nothing but, so 10 address you cannot use. You select 16 addresses and then you calculate the mask value, which is 28. So the previous case you have ended at 191. So this block should start with 14.24.74.192/28, and the last address 192 plus 16, it ends at 207-28. Now you have all the three blocks designed with the first address, last address, and the number of addresses. So if we add all these addresses, that means how much is the address? 16 plus the previous one is 128 plus the first address is, what is the first address? First address 128 plus second one is 64. Third address is 16. How much you get? 64 plus 64 plus 124 plus 16. 208. So you have got 208 address. But how many addresses are there in the entire block? You calculated here in the beginning itself 256, isn't it? You have actually 256 addresses. You have calculated 2 to the power of 32 minus 24. How much you have utilized now? You have utilized only 208. 256 minus 208 is how much?
48.
48 addresses are unused, right? 48 addresses are unused. You can represent that in the block way like this. So your first subnet is 128 address. Starting address is 14.24.74.0/25 to, of course, 127. So the next block is 64 addresses with the mask value 26. The starting address of that block is 14.24.74.128/26. And the third block is 16 address and 14.24.192.0/28. But this block is unused. 48 addresses are unused. You were given 256 addresses and you have used only 208. And the remaining 48 addresses are unused. So this is how you can design the subblock. Take down this problem. An organization is granted a block of addresses with the beginning address 17.12.14.0/26. The organization needs to have 3 subblocks of addresses to use in 3 subnets. One subblock is 32, another subblock is 16, another subblock is 16. Okay, so 32 plus 16 plus 16 is the 3 subnets. In this case, they've already given 26 as the mask value, right? So now first block, if you take first block, it is 32 address. Is it a power of 2? 32 is a power of 2. So 32
Yes,
can be
ma'am.
straight away taken. Second block, 16 address. It is also a power of 2. 2 to the power of 4 is equal to 16. It is satisfying the requirement. Third block is 16. That is also a power of 2. So you can easily know that the condition of the classless addressing is meeting. So if you have the same procedure, if you follow, so the total number of addresses in the block is n is equal to 2 to the power of 32 minus n. First one, 2 to the power of 32 minus 26. 64 addresses are given to the organization, and that is completely utilized. You can see that first block is 32, second block is 16, third block is 16. 32 plus 16 plus 16 is how much? 64. So all the addresses allotted by the ISP is utilized by this organization. There is no unused addresses which are available. So first address should start from 17.12.14.0. 64 addresses for the entire organization. 17.12.14.63/26 is the organization address, first address and last address. Proceeding in a similar way as we have done the previous problem, the first subblock should have 32 address, which is a power of 2. First thing we have to find is subnet mask is n1. n1 is equal to 32 minus log 32 to the base 2. You get how much? 27 as the mask value. So the first address is 17.12.14.0/27. It has 32 address. The last address is 17.12.14. It is not 12. 17.12.14. 31/27. The next block, the number of address in the second sub block is 16. It is a power of 2. So straight away take the number of addresses. So subnet mask in the second case is n2 is equal to 32 minus log 16 to the base 2. That means it is 28 is the mask value. So first address is the beginning of the wherever that previous block end, that becomes the first address. So the next block should start with 17.12.14.32/28. 16 addresses are given, so it should end at 47. 17.12.14.47/28. Third block, number of addresses in the third block is 16, which is also a power of 2. So the subnet mask is definitely same as the previous one. N is equal to 32 minus log 16 to the base 2, which is also 28. So the first address is nothing but the next address of the previous block. 17.12.14.47 ended in the second block. So the third block should start with 17.12.14.48/28, and the last address should be 0 to 15. So 48 plus 16, which is 17.12.14.64/28. This is the design of the subblock 3. So by this, you should be able to understand how subblocks or subnets are designed, knowing the entire organization.